Hello everybody, Andrew Blake from the digitalaudiomanual.com. Today let's talk about the Squasher in Cubase 13. The Squasher is a multi-band compressor with up-down compression. So what the heck does that mean? Basically it compresses the top part and it lifts the bottom part, which can really bring some different effects into what you typically hear from a compressor. A typical compressor is used to just turn things down, but with the Squasher, not only does it turn things down, but in some ways it lifts things up at the same time, and it will bring frequencies in for you to hear into the total mix of the compressor. This thing can be used subtly, like I'm using it right now on this mix, or it can be used with more extreme settings to go for special effects. Let's see how to open this up and use it. If I use it as an insert effect, I pick my channel, go to inserts, and then I can search through the categories. But if I just type in SQ, typically I'm going to see the Squasher. I hit enter, and now I'm looking at the effect. Getting familiar with the interface, you'll notice that on the left-hand side, there's little triangles. You'll see there's one at the top. You can click on these to open and close them. It changes what you can see on the interface. As you move down, there's another one at the bottom. And then if you move down from there, there's another one. When I just open this up as its default, if I haven't changed the default preset, I get a very extreme setting. If I use this like I did a second ago, I basically get a compressor that's totally squashing my mix, so you can see where the name comes from. One of the first places to start with this effect, check out the presets. We hit the drop-down arrow, explore through this list of various presets. A lot of presets dedicated to the kick drum, drums in general, quite a few presets dedicated to bass. The ones I just looked at, we have a couple for the master bus and one that says mix enhance. That's one of the first places to start with this. Put it on your main mix like I just did and check out some of these master bus settings. Try some of the kick drum settings. A lot of options for bass. Put it on your bass parts and that'll give you some idea of how the effect changes the sounds of your audio. Once you've experimented with that and gotten familiar a bit with the effect, one thing you'll want to pay attention to is the input settings and the output settings. Obviously, this effect will make things louder, which can tend to make you think it sounds better. If I start by turning my output down all the way, play my song, and then check the levels when I bypass the effect, I want to bring my output up until it matches the input. You can use the little meters on the left and right to help you get where you want to be. Then the digital numbers above, you can see on this one it's -7 at the input, and now I've got -7 on the output. So I know my effect is balanced. Some of the first moves you want to make to get comfortable. This main area is the frequency display. If you look at this graph at the top, you can take any of these bars and move them left to right. It changes the frequency range. You can take any of these horizontal bars, drag these up or down. These change the output. Move down this mid area. You have knobs to move the up and down ratio of each band. And below that, you have this slider that determines the threshold. For each band, you have a high setting and a low setting. Then you can grab the section in the middle if you want to fine tune where that goes. Over on the left, you have two buttons. One gives you the frequency spectrum, and one lets you see the compressor characteristics. What is good about the compressor site is sometimes moving these knobs or this slider graphically may not give you all the information you want. When you switch to this compressor characteristic view, if you look at this graph, as I turn knobs, it's reflected on this graph. Same with moving the slider on the threshold. You can also grab points right on this graph and move it as well. So if we put this on a kick drum, on this particular kick drum, there's a little tiny bit of high end, but when we turn the Squasher on, it really brings that out. Towards the top here, we have a mix slider, so we can bring this in or out as we want. And we have 3 bands on this compressor. Maybe we don't want 3 bands. You can choose 1 to 3. And that makes a big difference. When you're changing these knobs and sliders, they work independently, like I'm turning this knob. But we have a parameter link option. If we hit the one that says absolute ABS, when I turn this knob, which is the up compression, all of the up compressions change at the same time. But if I make slight variations on each of these, that button off, then I hit the button that says relative. Now they keep their relative positions, but still all move together. For each band, you have the option to activate it, deactivate it, or put it into solo mode. Then we move into this parameter section. This gives you extra compression and filter settings. I'm going to turn the absolute button on. If I make a change to 1, I'm making a change to all the bands at the same time. As I turn it up, the attack is increased. Next to that, we have an option for the release. When I have this turned down, the effect rings out longer. If I turn the release up all the way, you have the option to turn the drive up for each band. Here it's turned down. If I turn it up all the way, then you have an option for the gate. If this is turned down all the way, all the signal passes all the time. As I turn this up, kick has to hit harder and harder to pass through the gate. Each band allows you to separately adjust the mix, full mix, change the output level of each band, and this output corresponds to the pictures of these outputs at the top, so you can adjust these, or when you adjust the slider, you'll see those move. All right, the last thing I'm going to show you today is some of the things that happen down in the section dedicated to sidechain. This information is a video unto itself, but let me give you one workflow in case you want to experiment with this. In this example, I have a bass and a kick drum. When I turn the squasher on, bass becomes very bright. And that's because I put a lot of the information from the sound through this high band. If we solo these bands, you can hear the difference in the sound each band is making. For example, if I hit the low band and solo it, you get a real low bass sound, the mid band, and then finally this high band where you're getting this distorted sound. Say for our example, I want that high sound to dip out every time the kick drum hits and only be heard when the kick drum is not playing. If I come down to this area that says SC and I turn on the input over here in the sidechain area, a couple of things light up down here. First thing is you have a drop-down list. You click on that, it says internal, and then it says sidechain 1, sidechain 2, and sidechain 3. If I go up into the area at the top of the plugin, there's a button that says activate the sidechain. If I turn that on and then hit the little gear next to it, I have the same drop-down list in this little dialog that appears. If I click on that, again it says sidechain 1, sidechain 2, and sidechain 3. For this example, I'll hit sidechain 1. Now I'm going to add a sidechain source. Again, for this example, I'm using the kick drum. So this list, I'm going to type in kick because I've named my tracks. And pretty much just like that, when I play this now, that high frequency is dipped out every time the kick hits. And you can only hear it come in at the points where the kick doesn't hit. You have an extra button down here. It's a little speaker because you're actually able to change the frequency of that sidechain signal. You can change it by just moving the frequency in this Q setting down here, but it's kind of hard to hear in context. When I turn this little speaker on, that's the only thing you hear. And now when I make changes, very obvious what I'm doing to the sound. And that's going to conclude our tour of all the controls and different parameters of the squasher. All right, it's going to wrap it up for today. As always, if you haven't already, click the link in the description of this video to learn how you can get access to the all-new Digital Audio Manual Preferred. It's the clear, step-by-step solution showing you not only the tips, but all the secret and typically never talked about features that'll take you to a higher level of using your software. If you've been searching for an all-in-one solution to take you from start to finish and learning Cubase and Wavelab and other music software, this is exactly what you've been looking for. So click on the link in the description and come and be part of the clear path to a better learning experience. So today we had a tour of the squasher. We learned that it's a multi-band compressor for up-down compression, started out examining some of the presets, learned how to set the input-output levels, open and close the different sections, had a look at the main frequency section, learned how we can adjust the range, the output, ratio, different threshold of the bands, saw the different views between the frequency and the compressor characteristics, learned that we have access to 3 different bands if we want to, went through all the different mix and other parameters, and finished out with an example of how to use sidechain with this effect. As we continue to learn about all our different creative options and the tools that we have available to us, as always, it's great to have you guys here, and I'll see you on the next video.